Hi guys, welcome to...
Nearly.
I was about to do it again, wasn't I? Welcome to Stretford, Paddock. I am Adam Mckola. He is Alex. But is this the first time we've ever sat next to each other on a video on our own?
We've done a few Skype stuff, StreamYard things, but this is the first time we've done.
You in your golf gear at home?
Yeah.
Me in my pants at home?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on them live chats with you, don't I?
Right, yeah.
But in less of them, more of this.
Yeah. Because
this is a live chat with a difference today. This is the first preview.
Jay-Z.
Make yourself at home, Jay.
Sorry I'm late.
Don't worry about it.
Your lady friend keeping you in that dungeon again.
Grab your mic.
Can I just say, on the record, right, is this on?
It's on.
I didn't mean it like my lady friend, like she's an acquaintance.
You can move
so
that
this
way
is
a bit.
an explanation of the lateness. This is another apology to your partner.
This is an apology to Laura Vaughan. An apology to you guys for being late. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
Every single traffic light in Manchester was against me. You know, you're having one of them ones.
Were they red?
Yeah, and then I couldn't even message because the police were next to me for ages. It was gridlocked.
That's not that you would have if they weren't next to you.
No, you wouldn't.
Obviously, I'm a law-abiding
saying.
citizen.
Yeah, you'd have used some kind of Bluetooth or whatever it is. Yeah.
So what we're talking about?
Can you use Bluetooth? Can you use Bluetooth to text? I didn't know that could happen. Anyway,
we
are here. This is the first preview in the post-Dead Devils / Paddock / Devils future.
Devils.
The first preview. You ain't got your T-shirt on today.
I know. Yeah, I'm not allowed to wear them anymore.
Unfortunately. but we are here, and we're here to discuss a big game. A big game for both teams that are in the match. Obviously, Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Huge fixture at the bottom end of the table. Huge fixture for United in terms of top four. You probably think Villa need to win it more than us. You know,
it's huge.
When you think of Premier League safety,
especially with Watford winning yesterday, took them to 31 now. So Villa are 4 points away, and if they slip up in this game, you know they've got to gain 4 points in 4 games, which is just near enough impossible, isn't it, for them to do?
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember times when Aston Villa were challenging us for league titles. And
do you remember when we first won the Premier League? You was only a baby then, weren't you? First time we ever won the Premier League. It was us and Villa. And it was us against Ron Atkinson's Villa, which makes it all the more sweeter.
And there was a few...
For a multitude of reasons.
there was a few seasons after that as well where we had like... Was it under John Gregory maybe, where they were like top till Christmas?
Do you remember when we bought Dwight York off him?
Yeah.
It was like that whether he'd come or not. And I remember John Gregory was fuming, saying he should have stayed and things like that. And, you know, because they were considered... I mean, Villa are a big club. They've won the European Cup, or the Champions League. You know, they've won league titles. For the early 90s, like we were mentioning, they were challenging. But for the past, 10, 15 years, it's been
poor.
Decline.
They've had a couple of top six.
Since O'Neill,
yeah. Since O'Neill. They had a couple of years.
Look, we don't want to start the show talking about Villa.
Sorry.
We'll talk about Villa later on today. But what we do want to talk about first things first is Manchester United's defence. Now, before the game, we obviously have the presser from Ollie, and in his presser he said there's a doubt over whether Lindelof will be able to play in this game. We saw against, who did we play last? Bournemouth, that he came off at half-time and Eric Bailly came on. That kind of coincided with Harry Maguire giving the ball away, a little bit of erraticness in the back. Was it a penalty that came from Nemanja Matic and Bailly's? Like, look, they nearly equalised as well at one point. It was all over the place for a minute until we settled down again. Do you feel that was because Lindelof, I'll give you a chance to get your breath back, Lindelof was out of that team? Or what happened there? Why do you think the defence looks so ragged?
I think there is some stability with Maguire and Lindelof. I still think Lindelof has his problems, I think, in the air, especially against physical centre-forwards, he does struggle. But I think when him and Maguire are in the team together, there is a bit more calm. They've sort of grown into it. They start playing the ball out from the back of it better. And I still think... You know, Bailly's had a couple of chances since coming back in. He made Norwich. He was well out of position for the goal and looked a bit shaky all game. And then in Bournemouth gives away a penalty. And you can half blame Matic, but that whole thing, that erraticness straight away coming on, you know, he has been a bit shaky. And I think that is my worry going into this game. If Lindelof doesn't play, I think there's going to be moments. I think there's always a possibility of moments with Eric Bailly in the back.
I felt like that come from Maguire, me.
The thing is, like with Bailly, you remember when it was him and Daley Blind for a little while, And it works because Dale read the game. He wasn't the quickest or whatever. He wasn't the strongest or the biggest, but he read the game really well. And Eric Bailly's rapid. You know, he can cover for you if you've sort of got someone who's leading by example. But Maguire hasn't been doing that recently, like you say, and he's looked nervous. He's looked slow. He's not looked at the race at times. The Spurs goal was poor. Everyone, don't need to go on about Junior Stanislav's goal as well. Yeah. So I think he needs to take more responsibility. He's a captain. Yes, we overpaid for him. We shouldn't have paid 85 million, but he's a big signing. He was he's an established Premier League defender. He should be sort of leading by example at the back, organising that defence and making life a little bit easier for Eric Bailly. And there just seems to be these sort of, I don't know whether it's post-lockdown nerves or whatever, but we haven't looked defensively solid. But on the whole, like you look at it just before the lockdown, we did look good. So I don't know whether it's just taking Maguire a little bit of time to get back into the routine or whatever. But it doesn't help when you've got Lindelof coming in, going back out, Bailly coming in, going back out. We need a bit more stability.
So, some aspects of Maguire's game, I think, has improved since the lockdown as well. Some of his coming out from defence and pinging them passes to the left and to the right, I think he's done that a lot better recently. But it's those lapses that you worry about, and he does seem to have them in him. And when someone's got the armband, you don't want to have any little doubts. You want to be sure that he's going to be starting every game. And I don't think, if you've got Bailly, Lindelof, Maguire, and they're all fully fit, I don't think Maguire stands out head and shoulders above them. And really he has to. Having said that, I kind of half feel that maybe we're focusing on the defence a little bit just because we've got it so good at the moment. We haven't got so much to moan about. And we're a bit confused.
Yeah, I think a lot of this it's kind of changed. The defence has gone from we used to be sitting back in a lot of games, and they're the games we've been playing well. The games we're playing, we're dominating the ball, and these guys are having to just concentrate a bit more, not being involved in the possession more, because it's more Bruno, Pogba getting on the ball. Obviously they're getting involved, but they're not as much as they have been doing. So there's almost more pressure on them because they've got less to do. Yeah. In that kind of way.
Do you think the goalkeeper has to take responsibility for this? Is that any of an issue? Because we've all had sort of criticisms of De Gea for not organising his box. Is that not spill out to the defenders a little bit, or am I being overly harsh on De Gea there?
See, the thing with David De Gea, he's had a few blunders. But remember, like when Dave first came, and he'd have a blunder, but his whole game was poor. Like he'd look shaky, his distribute. But I feel like when De Gea's making mistakes these days, 80% of his game's fine. It's just that one moment. Yeah. And it's like, I'm confused. Like, what game was it where he got beat quite comfortably and then he pulls out a world-class save like a minute later?
Spurs. He did. Yeah.
And you think, so he clearly got confidence. Yeah. He's just got a little moment in him where...
He did well again. Was it Brighton where he played well? Yeah. And then I thought, okay, good. And he'd had a good week in the sense that Henderson had made a mistake. And it sort of everyone reminded everyone that De Gea's, not that bad. Yeah. And then the Bournemouth game, the near post one, it wasn't great. And then there was a bit of there was just an aura of edginess towards the whole back five, I felt, including the goalkeeper. So yeah, I just wondered whether that as a defender might be playing on your mind a little bit, or you could do with a little bit of help at times, especially. Just especially like set piece and things like he's very quiet. And I just wish he'd be a bit more.
I don't know whether it's a kind of thing as well, where he's been playing up here for so long. It's like Ronaldo. Imagine Ronaldo and Messi suddenly went into a season and only scored 20 goals a season. You'd be like, what's going on? Shit! They've lost it. And I think we look at Dave now and we think, he's not saving us every game. He's not doing this every game. And there are the odd goals going in. And maybe we just got used to him being such a high level that now it's evident that he's not.
It's weird, isn't it? Because when I think of Henderson, and I've been a big fan of Dean Henderson, but like
what, for 2 years?
For two months. I won't say years. Since I googled him on the way here.
But like he was parked up at that point. Probably.
Obviously, I used Siri or whatever it is. But like, do you remember years ago when like Van der Sar, people saying Ben Foster was ready, and Van der Sar had a break. I think he was injured. Ben Foster came in. And like after about 2 games, everyone was like, "Get Van der Sar back!" Like seriously, hurry up. I'm not saying Dean Henderson's at the same level as Ben Foster, but that was the conversations that United fans were having at the time. Maybe it's time for Ben Foster. Maybe he's ready. And now we're having it with Dean Henderson. And if you look at David De Gea's age, he's not old for a goalkeeper. What is he? 31? 30? I mean, he's got at least 4 or 5 years at the top left.
31's the new 21, to be honest.
I agree.
Definitely.
That means I'm not 30.
Oh God. I am. it does feel like we're just moaning a little bit for
Yeah.
the sake of it. In terms of the defence, so what kind? And I know this wasn't on the plan, so I apologise. We'll have to leave Lindelof on the screen. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
But how much impact do you think Matic has had?
I think massive, especially like mentioned with Lindelof and big centre forwards. Matic kind of covers that, and you notice that when he came in them games, we looked very good. I think that's something that McTominay and Fred can't do, where they can't stand in front of him and just win them headers for him. Maguire's comfortable with that, but when Matic comes in, he kind of looks after Lindelof a bit in terms of the physical aspects and all them different things.
We've got a super chat in from Prince, and Prince is a legend because he's all over my channel as well, so I appreciate your support, Prince. All of us do. He says, United have only conceded 33 goals, right? Only Liverpool have conceded fewer goals in the league, if I'm not wrong. De Gea is still a class act, and it's kind of alluding to that thing again where he's been so good for so long that now we look at him and we think, and is that stat still right about PSG having more more clean sheets than us?
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
So it's not all bad, is it?
No. I mean, yeah, it's like you're saying, especially before lockdown, everyone was pretty happy with the defence. I think just post-lockdown, there has been a few errors across, almost across the board. I remember Saka, probably an exception, but I think every defender or the goalkeepers had at least one mistake where you thought, needed to do better, which, again, we are being a little bit fussy, but you just hope it doesn't cost us further down the line. I mean, like you say, every game now is almost like a must-win. There's such fine margins in some of these games. Yes, we sort of, in the end, almost battered Bournemouth, but you can't do that every game. Probably.
Most thank you to Wandile for becoming a member of full-time Devils membership, which is of course Paddock. I don't know why I just said. Well, I know why
you've done really well, actually. To be fair, you've actually done well with this. I was
United family
much worse.
have said we only have reason to moan because the goals we've let in are errors, and I suppose that's true as well. I think about how good our record would have been if we hadn't had Maguire not closing down Campbell and De Gea not just letting him in. Our goal conceded record would have been incredible.
No, we've only conceded 8 goals or something in this unbeaten run, which is, and scored about 50 goals, which is
all right.
Really
listen,
good stats.
Listen,
really good.
Yeah, I mean,
listen. Thank you, Stephen, for the super chat. Listen, let's talk about something that's exciting. We don't want to talk about defense. We want to talk about offense. Yeah. We want to talk about the attack, and we want to talk about this man, this kid, even. That has just been filling our lives with so much joy recently. Mason Greenwood, a.k.a. Messi Greenwood, a.k.a. Lionel Mason. He's been absolutely tearing it. I don't even know where to start from him. Actually, let's look at this stat, for example. Only Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, and Wayne Rooney have scored more than Mason Greenwood in their first seasons in the Premier League under 18.
That's ridiculous.
That's scary.
And
stats.
when we mention that I hate Owen, he ain't Fowler, but those are goal-scoring supremos, right?
100%.
Every one of them.
You can't deny that.
And when you look at his record, it's just like, wow. Now, we've heard links of him to England and all that stuff. We don't care about England, yeah? So we're just going to talk about Man United. Mason Greenwood, does he just keep his space in the team, or do we have to pull him back a little bit?
You've got to just keep playing him.
Yeah.
At the moment, I think part of his advantage is almost his rawness, and he's almost like a devil-may-care attitude. He's always trying to get his shot off. He's always just going for it. He's got that sort of youthful exuberance, and you don't want to stop that. I think Ollie's handled him well in not bringing him in straight away at the beginning of the season and playing him every game. He's sort of brought him in gradually, give him cup games, give him substitute appearances. But now, I mean, he's on fire, and you can see defenders are scared of him. You saw it against Bournemouth. Defenders arguing with each other, and the goalkeeper arguing with his defenders, and his defenders going,
"What do you want?
Don't let him turn!
What do you want me to do about it? I know what I need to do. I just can't do it." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to stop that now. We need, like I said earlier, these are must-win games, and he's an integral part of that sort of attacking trio. And just keep playing him. Just keep playing him. Let him play. Like you said, he's up there with those players. I know we don't like him, but when Michael Owen burst onto the scene, everyone was like, Wow.
It was,
do you know what I mean? And Mason's got that about him. Everyone is talking about him. Everyone. Yeah. And it was interesting because we were talking to Henry Minute yesterday on the channel, and last time plug. Hey, in the Tier 1 Transfer Podcast, check it out. Me and Ronaldo. And a year ago I'd asked him about Mason Greenwood, and he'd been very dismissive. Not in the sense of he's good, just saying I don't want to overhype him. The club don't want to overhype him. We're sort of, let's talk about Marcus Rashford. And yesterday when we spoke to him, he was like, the club are just like he's that good.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to downplay this and saying, oh, let's not overhype him. He is that good. So there's just no point in denying it. And just, Ollie was saying the sky's the limit for him, and journalists are all rapping about him, and the fans are loving it.
I think the lockdowns helped as well. I mean, he's put on, what did he put on, 3 kilograms or something like that. Ridiculous. Like, you can see him, he looks bigger, he looks stronger. So the goals he was scoring in the U teams, where like he rolled that defender against Bournemouth and kind of held him off. He wasn't doing that when he was coming into the team at the start of the year, because he just wasn't that physically strong. But now you add that to the talent he's got. You've got that to his finishing ability, and he's unbelievable at the minute. It's quality. He's
definitely, like, I remember, all those players you've spoken about. I am biased, but he's got more in his locker than those. Like, Robbie Fowler could just finish and was like, could get himself in position to finish. Mckola was rapid. Mason, he's fast, he's strong, left foot, right foot. He's got a lot, really, hasn't he?
He's got like he just seems so cool and calm and calculated every time. Yep. Like, if you're at that age, like, look at Daniel James when he scored. This isn't a criticism of him. He scored an equaliser for us, big moment in front of Stretford, and he thought, yo, I'm having this. I'm having this. Like, let's go.
Which
Mason Greenwood did it against... No, you can't. No. Mason Greenwood did it against Everton, and he was like, get that ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes...
And it's just like that. It's a different mentality.
Do you know what makes me laugh as well is, like, when he's on the edge of the box, he's looking inside, and there's Paul Pogba in space.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's
or Bruno in space, and he's like, nah.
I'll take it out.
Yeah. This is me.
And that takes a lot of guts, but a lot of confidence, but he invariably scores as well. It's like... He's made the right decision. He's got that confidence in ability, and rightly so. I love that.
Most definitely. Yeah. And was it his first goal where Bruno plays it across to him? The defender's there. He doesn't know whether to come out because he's going to take the ball on his left foot and go that way, or is he going to do a Martial and ping it into the top bin with his right foot? He just left them, like, I don't know how you mark him. What do you prepare for? Is he going to go on his left? Yeah. Even penalties and free kicks. Goalkeepers can do their research all the time. He's just going to sit.
I mean, he took the penalty against Tranmere, didn't he, with his right foot?
That's
and
what I mean.
Who does that? Obviously, we were 4-0 up, I think, at the time. But you've only had one season in the first team. I'm going to do it with me so-called weaker foot in the FA Cup. I'm just going to take belt in the wrong foot. What?
Right, that's just ridiculous. I've never even seen that before.
No.
Ever. Like, players... Like, I've seen it in testimonials and stuff. Not like one of your first senior games.
Yeah,
just taking a piss.
It was a headed goal away from the perfect hat trick, and I think they have said that that's probably the only area where he does need to improve is with his headed goals. But at this age,
I mean, listen, that's a criticism people have had.
No, it's not criticism.
No, not criticism. That's something that people have said about Martial and Marcus, haven't they? And
which is kind of the only worry with all them three, because of all the qualities they've all got. Not one of them's a good header of the ball, which is the only worry.
That's a lie, really. Did you not see Martial's
goal
goal against Chelsea?
I knew he was going to say that. Don't even bother with that one. I knew what he was going to say. I knew he was going to say Martial's goal against Chelsea. There was no way he wasn't going to bring that up. That's why I didn't bother saying it. Great cross by Wan-Bissaka.
It was, yeah. But I mean, when you've got a header like that in the box, like, it just makes your job easier, doesn't it? Ross is asking, how do you become a member? And Ross is a member of my channel, so he's an absolute G. Yeah. You click that join button, and for those worrying about where my daily is, don't worry. Those dailies have become nighttime dailies now because, Paddock is where we're all at now.
Yep.
Every single day. We all done about Greenwood. We finished talking about him.
If you want to stop us, because otherwise we can just sit here for the next 7 hours. If you
How many goals do you think he'll level up with Robbie Fowler's record of 10? He's not going to get Owen's 18.
No.
Rooney's got 9.
What's he on now? 6.
Fowler's got 10.
He's on what?
8.
He's on 8.
Premier League goals.
I think he gets 10.
Oh yeah,
Premier League
easily. Yeah, I think. Well, now I think he's a guaranteed starter. I can see him getting at least a 2 to get to double figures. At least. I don't want to pile too much.
Is he a guaranteed starter now?
Oh, I think so. Definitely.
I think he is. I think unless we change, the only reason he wouldn't is if we change the system and go for 2 at the top. That's the only reason I think he doesn't play. Is that Mark and they play a diamond midfield or something like that. Apart from that, if they play 3 at the top, Mason Greenwood's your starter there easily.
Nate, thank you for your super chat. We'll discuss Brandon Williams or Luke Shaw when we look at the team, so keep it locked for that. That's coming up shortly. But somebody that we've spoken about so much when, just like we were talking about United dailies earlier, doing the news and doing you guys as well when you've been doing it. All we talk about really is transfers. Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish. There's not many other names that pop up. And Jack Grealish is going to be one of those names, especially in this game. Unless Villa did something mad like just not starting, which would just be baffling, wouldn't it?
It'd be great if you did.
It'd be great if you did, yeah.
Feel free to do that.
If you want,
Game aside, or game even in, like, how good is Jack Grealish? Could he win this game for them on his own?
I think so. I think they want to do set pieces. I think that's one of their big chances, especially how we've been a bit shaky in that. So, quality deliver of the ball, created second most amount of chances behind De Bruyne this season.
And De Bruyne is just the absolute hitter and hold merchant, isn't he?
Pretty much, yeah.
Did not see that one coming. When you started that sentence, I did not see it ending in that way. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he's rubbish.
Yeah, he's shit, yeah. No, but you saw the goal he scored at Old Trafford. You know, he has got quality about him, and that is he's their worry. He's the worry for us.
Yeah, he sort of convinced me at Old Trafford. I know we can't go too much in one game, but I remember you were raving about him, and I was like, I don't know. I think he's a bit of a sort of not one trick pony, but very inconsistent or whatever. Yeah. But he's everything to that team, isn't he? And he's got so much pressure on him, and yet he still delivers. He talks about he's on the second most chances created in a team that's second bottom. And what I liked about him at Old Trafford is he got kicked everywhere. He got kicked all over the pitch, and he just kept getting up and kept wanting the ball, kept making things happen. He got his goal, didn't he? And you think, you know what?
What a goal as well.
Yeah.
It's probably the best. Well, Marshall's against Watford. You got, loads of Marshall goals, but I'd have to say
other than
Jack
Marshall,
Grealish,
is it the best goal you've seen?
Jack Grealish.
At Old Trafford at that end.
I'd say, Jack, just come to United. Me and you car share. It'll be fun, man.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think, like, people talk about United not buying a Jack Grealish or someone like that, and I think that would be a massive mistake. I think we look at the opposition that we're going to hopefully be up against and trying to challenge with for the title, the likes of City, Liverpool. When City are able to bring someone like Bernardo Silva off the bench or Riyad Mahrez off the bench, and we're looking over and it's Juan Mata and Andreas Pereira, I think if you're looking over and it's Jack Grealish or Mason Greenwood or someone coming up the bench,
you're right.
It's a whole different story, and I think you would be able to get him in at United. But as for the game that's at hand and coming up, he's a massive threat. I think he's not their only threat, because they have a few other players that are dangerous on the break and things like that. Trezeguet looks all right at times, but if Jack Grealish doesn't perform, I don't think any of their team performs. No. And I think that's huge because, like you were saying earlier, Villa aren't a small club. They're massive, and for someone to play for them with that expectation, especially when you think of them in the Championship, and having to get up, and he delivered. I'm a massive fan of Jack Grealish. I'd take him at United all day.
Yep, definitely.
Like you say, you want options, and he'd be a great one, especially if Bruno or Pogba needed resting or whatever.
I think the Norwich game just showed how much we need someone like Jack Grealish, because you had in that front three, you had Mata and Lingard. If you'd have put Grealish in there, you thought it looked so much better. And you had to play Bruno or Pogba in that game as well. And I think we're at that position as well where we have to play one of those two. Grealish comes in, you can give them a rest in them kind of games, and then you can rotate them in Premier League games as well. I think that's the options we need at the minute.
What did you make of Souness's comments recently?
Which ones? Not
the racist ones.
Sorry, the one that he said he loved playing against him or something.
He'd love playing against Jack Grealish, in that he gets fouled a lot because he holds onto the ball too much and doesn't see the game.
I mean, that's just utter nonsense from start to finish.
Yeah.
Graham Souness won't last 5 minutes playing against Jack Grealish in this day and age. He'd just be getting red carded constantly. And as for he holds onto the ball too much, this was a criticism I've heard about Paul Pogba in the past. And again, you look at who's around you, what runs they're making, what's the movement like, who's going to make things happen if it's not you. Yeah. And I think that's the same with Jack Grealish to a bigger degree than Paul Pogba, because Paul Pogba's at least had some decent players around him. Jack Grealish often, it's up to him or no one. And he must get frustrated with it. And I don't think he is too flash or he's holding on the ball too long because he's trying to sort of show off anything. I think it's because he generally hasn't got the players around him that are making the runs he needs to make or can get the ball off him and do things themselves. So it's down to him. So I think it'd be a different story if he came to United to do. And I think Graham Souness, he's living in the past as per.
I think he's made for Old Trafford. And I think that goal showed it.
Yep.
Didn't he tweet something about Old Trafford and delete it?
He's tweeted a lot of tweets about Old Trafford. He loved playing at Old Trafford, and tweets about United and things like that in the past. And we're both Brummy Reds. Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, exactly. You can give him, like you said, you can give him to do the car share. Do you know what I mean?
We'll be like Peter Kay and that bird.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be great.
Sorry
that I don't know her name. It's really bad that I don't know her name because she's very famous.
Yeah, we need to. No. I'm gonna get politics. I can't remember her name as well.
Casey, find that name.
She's good. She is.
Yeah.
Car share, the lady with with Peter K. I called him Paul K, so I suppose
Yeah.
equal
Can't be doing
opportunities.
with
Jeremy
Paul K.
Vea with another super chat says, "Congrats on your first week on Paddock, Adam and Cole. Really Sean Gibson. That's it.
Yeah.
Really like your content. Do you think Grealish will come to Man United? No, he's not going to start. I do.
Yep.
Yes.
We do. And apologies if some of your super chats go miss. We're trying to get a screen here so your super chats show up. So like when you send 50 quid saying I love Adam and things like that, then it'll just like show up on the screen here. So we're going to try and do that. But if we see any questions that we can answer, then we will try and answer them. So we appreciate all your support at the moment. But yeah, if you want to support us, probably the best thing to do is get a membership. But keep your super chats coming in as well.
Yep.
Right, we're moving on to teams. Everyone got everything you need to say about Greenwood and Grealish?
Yeah.
And Lindelof?
Yep.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
Anything you want to add about Graham Souness?
No.
Sean Gibson?
Retire is what I'd like to add. It's about Graham Souness. Sean
No,
Gibson.
Sean Gibson doesn't need to retire. No, she's fine.
No, Graham Souness. Not with Sean Gibson. God, no. Sean Gibson is a legend. In fact, get Sean Gibson on Sky Sports doing the commentary. Instead of Graham Souness. There's the perfect answer for everyone.
There you go. They'll probably fail with that and just get Paddy McGuinness on it like they do everything else.
Very fussy, isn't he, Paddy, about what work he does.
Yeah.
That Top Gear job, though.
That's a job.
I've not watched Top Gear since...
Anyway, moving on. Predicted 11. Jay's team's on screen.
Right.
Jay, what team would you like to see against Aston Villa, sir?
Well, I think for the Aston Villa game, I've gone with David De Gea in goal. Luke Shaw at left back. I think Luke Shaw had probably his best game for a long time against Bournemouth. I think he
Very
did.
good.
I think I've not been a massive Luke Shaw fan. Even when people go, "No, he's back to his best," I've been like, he's not really. He's not pre-injury Luke Shaw, but I thought he was okay the other week, and I think now wouldn't be the time to drop him. Lindelof's got that back injury, so I'm going to go with a back pairing of Maguire and Eric Bailly. You two giggling up. And at right back, I'll go Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Holding midfielder, I'll go with Fred, Bruno and Pogba in midfield, and the attacking trio of, well, the best attacking trio in the Premier League, in the world, of Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, and Anthony Martial.
Chef Super Chat made me laugh. He goes, "Did someone pay for the cans and not the internet? The stream went down when you said Wan-Bissaka. Maybe he tackled the modem."
Maybe.
Yes, great use of the word.
Or Jay's lady friends just cut all the wires.
She's just like, I'll tell you what, sick of him going on that channel, slagging me off.
Yeah.
Right. Ow.
My team.
Your team, please.
We've got David
You got
De
a
Gea.
great tan, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes,
All that golf in it.
It's the
Yeah.
golf, mate. It's the golfer's tan.
Do you know what I mean?
So we've gone David De Gea in goal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Harry Maguire, and like I said, Luke Shaw, who has definitely improved. I think the Brighton game was kind of the start of him. He started overlapping again. He started getting forward. He looked like the Luke Shaw that we wanted. Matic keeping his place. I think there's enough time there to recover between the last two games. I think he gets his rest when we play on Tuesday. Southampton at home.
Isn't that a more difficult game, though?
Yeah, Alex, what are you doing?
I think that's when he gets his rest anyway. With Pogba and Bruno in there. And then, like you said, the best front three in the world. Marcus Rashford, Martial and Mason Greenwood.
Oh, yeah. My team, Joe, is David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, the best defender in the whole wide world. Then we've got Harry Maguire, the little slabhead. Then we've got Luke Shaw, McTominay, I went for instead of Matic with Pogba. Fred. Why was I about to say Fred? I was about to say Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. Mason Greenwood. Marcus Rashford. Anthony Martial. What a team. Best front three in the world.
It's good, isn't
No
it?
doubt. It's not even up for debate.
No, not
Name me a
the
better
slightest.
front three. I'll wait, as they say. You can't.
You can't. I don't. I'm just.
Serious,
Are we
I'm not
rushing
even joking.
Greenwood by
No.
starting him all these games?
No.
Or is there some kids where you just? I know we've spoken about him already, but remember Rooney? You just never play him.
You know what? Like, I'm not saying this is going to happen with Mason Greenwood, but you know, you're talking earlier about Michael Owen. He's probably better as an 18-year-old than he was as a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was probably his best seasons were when he was a teenager. Now, again, like, I'm not saying that, but if he's scoring goals, play him. Do you remember when Giggs burst onto the scene? It was like 17, 18, and it was like, oh, you know, we've got Lee Sharp, should we rest him? And Fergie just kept bringing him in, kept playing him, and then to that 92, 93 season, he was a massive part of the reason he won the league. I think this is it, man. Just keep playing him.
Yep.
Let him keep scoring goals.
And he'll be a massive part of the reason why we win the league next year.
Of course.
Yep.
Yes. Clip that up, everyone. Want that rammed down our throat.
Nah, because it's 2021 next year. So
Yeah.
I think our old number 20 is going to make it 21.
Perfect.
2021.
Perfect. That's it's
Diogo
destiny.
Dalot might score the winner in the Champions League final. That could happen, right?
There's a clip for you.
No. Welbeck comes back.
They give him 21 shirt.
Did you see Danny
And
Welbeck
he scores
score?
no
Hey.
kick. It's
How
unbelievable.
Dan
many
part
times-
2
how-
coming soon.
How many times with me and you say he come good?
He
And
has
we've been
come good.
proven right.
Proven. And Moyes. I said we'd stand by David Moyes.
Exactly.
Might have just
Yeah.
got his Champions
Yeah.
League football.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you
there you go.
see, we were right all along. Told you so.
Definitely. Guys, score predictions, please.
What did I say on your channel? I don't want to change my mind. 1-0. I went for United 1-0.
You'd go for 1-0.
Yes, I know we're scoring loads of goals, but I think, as you said, we've all said, Villa are battling. They're fighting for their lives. It might be one of those games where it's a little bit scrappy, and we just have to do a bit of a smash and grab with, I don't know, Mason, bang him on him.
I was about to make a horrible joke there that wouldn't have went down well.
Okay. Glad you didn't.
Right. Well, that's gone well then. I've gone for. I'm going for 3-1. I think I see us scoring goals still. I don't see us not scoring 3 goals in the game at the minute. I think we're just flying. So I'm going 3-1.
Ross Murphy agrees with you in the
Yep.
comments on 3-1. I'm going 2-0 United. Anthony Martial to score and Paul Pogba to finally get a goal.
Oh,
His first goal of the
it's
season.
not like he needs one, but it'd
No.
be good for him to
He'd
get
be
one.
our
wouldn't it?
20th goal scorer as well,
That's
I believe,
ridiculous.
if he did score, which would
Hey.
be great. Just before we win our 21st title,
There you
which is also good. Anything else you want to add?
No, man, it's just all positive. Let's just
All
keep
right.
momentum going.
Yeah.
Positive
We've
on here
got
as well.
them vibes. Are we allowed to have them vibes anymore?
I don't know. I don't know. It's one of them, innit?
No.
Hey, can you still listen to him? I don't know. I didn't really listen to him anyway, so I'm not bothered.
I did. Great times. Snake remix was a banger. But anyway, moving on from that. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. Keep it locked to Paddock as well. Alex Neil saying United are going to win 4-0.
Alex
So
Neil
I
has
suppose
spoken. There
that
you
is
go.
going to happen. United are beating
Can't
Villa
argue with Alex
4-0.
Neil.
Keep it locked. We'll be back on match day for the watch along with all of us hooligans. We'll have the fan cams, the reviews, all that good stuff. So keep it locked. Like, comment, share, subscribe. For now, we have been Stretford Paddock. We're out of here.